Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Today we are going to try something new. Last week we went through the process of creating a database, creating a table, inserting data. This week, in your class page, I made you all download, or I sent you on your class page a database file. Now, this database file presents us with an opportunity for us to design a database and then manage the database that we have designed. So over here, I have the file in which I sent you. If I am to open this file, you realize the file here has data. It's an SQL file. So you can see that you have the code to create a customer table. We have some customer data for entry. We have an employee table. We have employee data for entry. And it goes down and creates a database for us. It creates an actual database for us that we can utilize. Now, the reason why I sent you the database for us to utilize is so that we can have queries. We can write queries in our database and see how, if I have a database, how do I get information from my database? How do I retrieve information from my database? How do I manipulate information inside my database? We need to have a bit of knowledge in that too. The database we are going to design would look like something like this. So I also sent you people the structure of the database. From the structure, we can see that there are relationships between the customer table and then the order table, the customer table, and then the payments table, the employees table, and the orders table, the employees table and the officers table. The employee table has also has a relationship with the customers table because an employee will be a customer's rep. And over here, we have the product lines, which is connected to the product, which is connected to the orders. There are relationship between various things in the table. And our job is to, first of all, create this table. Now, to make our job faster for us, I have already sent you this table. So we'll use that file to create this table. How will we use the table? That's our first question. How will I create a database when someone else has created a database? How will I create mine? So first thing is first, I need to go and put on my XAMPP, since that is the platform we are using. So here I have my XAMPP control panel, and I need to make sure my Apache is on and my MySQL is on. So once that is done, then I can move to my next step. My next step involves me opening my local host. So here I'm at localhost. And once I open localhost, I'll open PHP my admin. So you can see that I've opened localhost/PHP my admin. Open localhost/PHP my admin. Okay. Okay, so now we are going to go through the pain of creating a database. So I just have to create a database and give it a name. The name of the database in which I want to create is called company. So in here, I'll click on new. And then in here, I'll just put in my database name, that is company. Or I can go here and type in create database and the database name, which is what? Company. So in here, I've created a database called what? Company. There are some people saying they can't hear me. Can you hear me now? The people in the chat who couldn't hear me, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So now I've created my database called company. So on the side here, I can see that I have a database here called company. So I can click here and open the company database. Now, at the very top here, I can see some items there. I can see SQL, I can see search, I can see query, I can see export, that is, I want to send a database somewhere. And I can also see import, that is, I want to bring a database from somewhere. In my case, I want to import. So I have to go and search for the location of the file I did, and my location is here. And then I'll click on open. And then when I'm done, I'll click on import. And the computer will take it upon itself to take all the lines that are in the imported file. And then when it is done, it will load it all in. So you can see that now when I click on the company table, I have customers, employee, offices, other details, orders, payments, product lines, and products. All the things that were in the diagram here have been moved over here for me. So now I have this database. But how do I get information from the database? And the reason why, again, I sent you the database is because I want you to have a database that is filled so that we can make searches and queries with the database that is what? Filled. It doesn't make any sense if our database is not filled. We can't make proper inferences from something like that. So if the database is filled, then we can see all the queries in the glory of the queries. What's the first query I want to do? The first one I want to do today has to do with the word select. So over here, I'm going to tell the computer to select. Now, the select here means that I want to go and fetch some information. I want to go and bring some information. I want to go and collect some information. What information do I want to collect? I want to collect all the information. Then the next question is, from where? So I want to select all the information from the customers table. So the customers table. And I'll end it with a semicolon. That means that every single information you have in the customers table, go and bring it to me. So when I go and click on the go button here, it will go, search the entire database, and bring back to me every single piece of information inside the customers table. So over here, I can see that I have 122 items being brought back. What are these items? I can see I have my customer name customer number is 101, 103. Over here, it is this. Over here, it is that. First name is that. I can see all of this information being brought to me. So again, let's have another try at this. I can go go and select for me. What do I want to select? Everything. From where? From the employees table. And then I'll click on what? Go. And you can see that every piece of information inside the employees table has also been brought here for me. Are there any questions on the select so far? I don't think so. Let's have some more. Yes, there's a question on the select.
No, not on the select, on the XAMPP. So when I try to start the MySQL, it stops on its own.
And it means that your port is blocked. It means that there's another application using your port. So you have to go and change your port number so that your application will be free.
Okay.
Now, over here, it is not every day that I would want to select everything from the customer's table. For example, let's say I want to know which customer and their phone number. So I want to know the customer's name, and then the customer's last name, first name, and then their phone number. Okay, so over here I have the customer's company name, I have their last name, I have their first name and phone number. What I want is this information over here. Okay, so again, I'll tell the computer that, oh, I want you to go and get for me some information. So in here, we have select. What do you want to select? I want to select the customer's name, comma, the customer's, that's the customer's company name, yeah? The customer's first name, comma, the customer's last name, comma, the phone number of the customer, comma, and I also want you to select the city the customer is in. From where? So I want you to select these items from where? From the customer's table. And then I'll go and hit what? Go. So again, you can see that it brings me only in the customer's table. There are lots of information there. All I want is the customer name, that, and that from that. I can even go further. I can say over here, concatenate. Okay, so I want to concatenate or join the first name and then the last name. So I want to join these items here. But if I do it like this, the names will come together. So over here, I'll just do concatenate this and then give a space here and concatenate that. So it looks like this. So I have this would be seen as one. This will all be seen as one. Then I have this and then this. When I press go, I have no error, so it runs. So you can see that I have the company name, the full name of the customer, and then I have that and that going on. Now, over here, the label for the field is concatenate that and that. It doesn't make sense to what I'm doing. So again, I'll go and edit this and say concatenate it all. And when you are done concatenating it, recognize it as the full name. So it means that Now, when it does it, it will recognize it as a full name. Over here, I want to give a space here so that the names are separated very nicely. And then when I run it again, I'll have Caroline Smith, Jean King, Peter Dutt, and all of them are the full names of the word customers. So I've taken two fields and joined them together and concatenated them together. So I've joined them together. So this is something I can do. This is something I can do. Now, over here again, I'm selecting all 122 people. Let's say that I want all my customers who are coming from Madrid. So again, I'll come to the SQL query and I'll say everything here is the same, but where the city of the customer is equal to Madrid. So go and select all of this information for me from the customers table where the city is equal to Madrid. So if I go and press equal to here and press go, you realize that there are 5 customers who come from Madrid. So in here, I would see Madrid, 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 Madrid. And these are the customers who come from Madrid. Maybe I have to do a promotional message for the people from Madrid. This is how I can isolate and find the people who come from what? Madrid. So the where clause allows you to isolate a particular field and find values that are positive to that field and that field alone. Let's have some more examples. Let's say I want to know the customers who are from the country, the USA. So I have country here and I have USA. Note that the where clause, the things I'm picking here are the field names in the customer table. So when I press go here, it will show me that there are 36 customers who come from the USA. Now, out of these 36 customers, I want any customer. For example, let's say I have your class. Your class are 150 or something. I want to know how many of your class has MA in their name. So over here, I would say where the customer's last name is equal to something that has, so over here, I would say like, and in here, I'll put 2% size here, and in here, I'll put MA here. So where the customer's name has something like MA in their name. And when I press go here, let me just make sure. So over here, where the person is from a country called the USA, and at the same time, in his last name, he has an MA there. And then I'll press go. And then we'll see that we have no customer who has a last name that has MA in it. So it gives us a 0 or an empty set. If I copy it again, let's say where the first name has an MA in it, we see that we have 3 people who have MA in their name. We have Mary, we have Martha, and we have Maria. So whenever you are online, and let's say, or you're on your phone, and let's say you need to find someone on your phone, and you type, oh, this person, what's his name? I know his name is KO something. Okay, let me just type KO, then some of them will come, then you can choose one. This is how it is done. It is done using the like. With the like, you're not saying it should be definite, because the moment I say it should be equal to, it means that it must be that. For example, if I go back and edit this, and I remove the like from there and make it equal to, and I remove the percentage signs from there, that means that go and look for someone whose name is Emmy directly, and I press go. Obviously, I have nobody whose name is Emmy. So the like allows me to search based on a particular criteria that I want to search with. I can also search like this. For example, I can say, give me all customers who come from the USA who have a credit limit greater than 100. And I'll press go. So you can see that all of these people have a credit limit which is greater than what? 100. I can even click here and say, comma, credit limit. So that when I press go here, sorry, what did I not do right? Oh, instead of the comma, I did dot. So comma, and then in here I can see the credit limits in which they have. Now, I can go further and say, give me all the people who have a credit limit that is greater than 10,000, and at the same time, the credit limit is less than 30,000. And then I'll press what? Go. So you can see that only 2 customers has a credit limit that is greater than 10,000, but it is less than 30,000. So I can use the queries to find people, to find information, to find data, to find info. How many students have registered this semester? How many students have not registered this semester? How many students have paid but not registered? How many students have not paid but registered? How many students still owe? How many students do not owe? I can make various searches using this kind of information. Are there any questions? Are there any questions, please? Please note that there is a PowerPoint coming your way, which has some of these queries there for you to analyze in your own time. Before we move on, are there any questions, please?
No, sir.
If there are no questions, then let us talk about something very curious whenever we are dealing with the database. You realize that in the database, for example, I have a relationship between employees and officers. I have employees here, and then I have officers over here. And we will see that there is a relationship between every employee must belong to a particular office. You can't come to work and be sitting under a tree. So there is also a class you people do, being engineering students, that has to do with sets. I know you have done sets in one of your lectures. And in you doing sets, you'd have seen some of these things. If I want to join 2 tables together, it is seen as a set. If I want the information from the 2 tables, everything, then I'm doing a full outer join. If I want information from one half of the set alone, then I'm doing a right join. If I want information from the left-hand side of the set alone, I'm doing the left join. But if I want the middle information, then I'm doing an inner join. Let's see what I do. let's see what we mean practically. For example, over here, I have the customers table. In the customers table, the structure of the customers table looks like this. So I have the customer name, last name, first name, his extension. That's the phone number we can use to reach him, his email, his office code, and then the office report, who he reports to, and then the title. Who he reports to is a key on its own. So here you just indicate he reports to number 1, then we know who he reports to and all of that. But this is my employee table. I have all the information I need over here. Also, I have another table over here called the office table, right? So here I have the offices. The offices presents me with the office code, the city, the phone number, the address, and all of those things. That has to do with the office. So if I want to know my employees, all my employees, all I have to do is say, select all from what? Employees. Now, I can say where 1. Where 1 means where everything is okay. So if I do that, it's the same as me just saying select star from employees, by the way. So if I press this, it will just show me all the employees who belong to that organization. But Mr. Murphy, what office does he belong to? For me to know that, I have to go and look on the office table and go and look for number 1, which is San Francisco. I don't want to do that work. So over here, I'm going to write some specific codes that will allow me to find such information. Number 1, I'll just say select star from employees. Inner join. And then what am I joining? I'm joining the offices table. So this is you telling the computer, announcing the computer that, oh, I want to join 2 tables. Where? How? How are you going to join the 2 tables? Oh, okay. I want to join them on where? Here is a very important piece of code. You can see from the diagram, and there's a reason why I sent you the diagram, because it shows you the structure of it. The office code here is connected to the office code over here. The office code here is a primary key for the offices table, but for the employees table, the office code here is a secondary key. So I'm joining it at where, if you take employees, go and look for the office code, it should be equal to, if you take offices, go and look for the what? Office code. So at these 2 junctions is where I am joining. That is where the physical joining of the 2 tables are. So now I've told the SQL statement how those 2 tables are joined together. So my code looks like this. But you see, over here, I typed employees. Here, I typed employees. Here, I typed offices. Over here, I type offices here too. It will be a problem in the future because every time I have to tell the computer, offices, this is where, like over here, if I want the employee's name, I have to type employees.name. It becomes too much. So all I'll do is I'll tell the computer, wherever you see employees, just know that I'm typing P there. So wherever you see P, note that that is what is standing for, employees. Wherever you go and see O, Note that I'm referring to what? Offices. So that over here, instead of me typing employees, I can just say P dot offices, and here I can just say O dot what? Office code. And the computer will know that the P and the O are reference to what? Employees and what? Offices. And why is this beneficial to me? Again, to me as the coder, why is it beneficial to me? Why should I care about such a change? I care about such a change because I can do the following. I can tell the computer that, oh, go for the employee table and look for the last name or the first name, comma, the employee table, look for the last name, the employee table, look for the extension, the employee table, look for the person's email, the employee table again, look for the person's, no, let's not add the who he reports to. His job title so that we know who he is. Go also to the office table and look for the city. Go for the office table and look for the phone number for the office. Go for the office table and look for the country the office is in. So that over here, if I go and press go again, it would look for those items for me. In my instance, they are telling me I have an error somewhere. So I have to figure out where my error is. So I have an error, and this is a good opportunity for us to solve the error together. So you have an error in your syntax. Of course, I know that. It is right near where you have email. So I go and look for email over here. And I can see that at email, I didn't bring a comma over here to separate this and this. So that is why I have an error. At some certain point, you should realize that everyone can write code. Not everyone can solve errors. There's a gimmick of IT people that says IT people don't like to read. I think that's a lie. We don't like to read a lot. That may be true, but you must be able to comprehend the error. So I've solved my error. If I run it again, I have no errors now, and my code runs. I can see Dinah Murphy, his extension is this, his email is this, he's the president, his city is San Francisco, this is his phone number, and he belongs to what? The USA. I have all of this information there that I can use in contacting him in doing something. Let's say we want all the customers, all the employees who belong to the country of France. So in here, over here, I would say where the office.country is equal to France. And when I hit this, it tells me that, oh, for French, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. In your exam, I can give you a database like this, and I can ask you to search for various information and tell me who is there, why is the person there, make a report. I expect you to understand the SQL statements, to have full control. This is a join. This means that I'm taking one table and another table and bringing those two tables together. Now the tables become one. Then I can take information from the two tables that I have created. Are there any questions on this? Let's see if we can do some more complex SQL statements. Let's say you are the managing officer of their database and you have been asked to make a report. You have been asked to know how much total revenue is being generated by the organization for a particular product. So we want to know which product do we have that has made the most sales, and then which product has been sold the most in terms of quantity. That is what we want to know. So we want to know which product has the best quantity, which product has the best value in terms of price. That's what we want to know. Yes, you can join more than 2 tables. You can join 3, 4, 5 tables. So over here, let's see. How do I determine which product has made the most sales? Now, the most sales of a product will come from the order details table, because the order details table will hold the pricing of the orders. For example, if I come here and I say select all from order details, and then I go and hit go, it shows me all the order details, and we can see that we have the quantity here, we have the price here, we have all of the items that are sold. Now, of course, we have the items themselves over here. So the order details will give us the prices of the items, but we can't use the pricing code here, because when we go here, we will see that the item has a full name. The product name is this, is a car. All of those things are here. So we need the product name. We can't use the product code. So it means that in order to give my report, I need to combine 2 tables. I need to combine the product table, and then I need to combine the order details table. So select all from order details, and order details, I'm going to refer to it as OD. And I want you to inner join the products table. So I'm inner joining the products table. And the products table I'm going to call P. Now, on what are they joining? When you go to the order details table, you would see the product code. And then wherever you see this, when you go to the product table, you see the product what? Code. So that's where they are joining. Now, what do I want? I want when you go to the product table, go and look for the product code. And when you go to the product table, go and look for the product what? Name. Perfect. Perfect. Now, I also want you to go to the order table and go and look for the quantity ordered. And I also want you to go to the order table and look for the price of each. When I'm done, I'm going to hit what? Go. Now, this gives me a whole big table. Look at the number of things in which are there. 2996 and 2996. This doesn't help me. The report wants me to know, oh, Harley Davidson, how much was it sold? This one, how much was it sold? That's what it wants. So it wants the information grouped. So I'll go back to the drawing board because here I can't use this information for a report. So I'll go back to the drawing board. Now, in the drawing board, I'm going to ask the computer to do something. Here, I can't use where. Where allows you to do like a search. I'm not doing a search. I want you to pick a specific item and group it. So here, I'm going to use an aggregation in that I'm going to say group by P dot product code. And also P dot product name. So I'm telling the computer to group the items by their product code number 1. And when you're done grouping by the product code, go and group by the product name number 2. Let me hit go and see what we get. So when I hit go here, you can see that the items are grouped by their product name. So you can see that the product names are here. Now they don't come double anymore. I've reduced it to 109. Okay, we are getting somewhere. So now let me come back in here again and edit it. Now, they said they want the sum total of all the products that are sold under that product. So here, I'm going to tell the computer to do something very nice, which is go and sum up. So sum all the ordered items. Also, when you've done summing them up, see it as total quantity. Perfect. Over here, I need to sum up the ordered price of each. And the ordered price of each is given by the quantity of the items ordered times the price. And when you're done doing that, I want you to sum them all up. And when you sum it all up, I want you to treat it as the total value. And then now I'll hit go again. I forgot to bring the word as here. And I have an error. Company.sum does not exist. Let's go and see. Where did I do company.sum? So here I said P order, P name. Here I want you to do the sum of this. And then once you sum it up, I want you to see it as this. I want you to also do the sum of that. And I want you to see it as that. Good. Let's see if it gives us an error again. It does not. So over here, I can see that Harley Davidson, the company has sold 1,056 of them and made this amount of money from it. That's nice. But I want to see which one is the best. So I will come back in here, edit, and tell the computer that I want you to order by total value in descending order. And then I'll hit a go again. And now I can see that the best item they sold is the Ferrari Spider. The next one is the Enzo. And then it goes like that. But I'm still not done. The company just wants to know the best 5 items they are selling. Now it is showing me 109. What do they need it for? So I'll come back in here And I'll tell the computer to limit its queries to only 5. And I'll press go. So you can see that the top 5 items are shown over here for me. Everything in which you use online is based on these things. I want to log in. I want to fetch this. I want to buy an item. I want to do that. Everything goes to the database and it is queried. There are people in the background offices who use the queries to make reports. They search reports on various items. In my daily life, I make various reports on students. How many female students? How many male students? How many female students have done this? How many male students have done that? You just take the data as it is. You must know the query to type to get the information you want. You must make your life easier for you. In that, if I didn't bring this P and OD, it means that I have to just type product, I have to type other details and products each time over these sections. It becomes a worrisome process very quickly. Are there any questions?
Sir,
Yes.
please, to reference the tables, like the P you put in front, sorry, the OD you put in front of other details. Is this supposed to be only letters, or it can be numbers and symbols too, or a combination of?
Abrantier. At this stage of your coding career, you know that variables, we don't use numbers and symbols for them. Don't you know that?
Yeah, I know, but maybe different in the
Abrantier. No, the question was, don't you know that? Yes or no?
I do.
So, Abrantier, you do know that. So, what changes? What change has come? The person who is writing on the screen, clean it, because I'm about to block you for this class and every other class we will have. So, Abrantier, it is supposed to be letters only, one word.
Okay.
The shorter, the better, because the longer the word, the more you have to type.
Okay.
Are we okay?
Thank you.
Don't add any symbols. Yes. Any other question, please? There are times in which you would want a query. You would want a query. And what query do you want? For example, let's say that I want to do select star or select customers. So I want to select the customer names. Literally. So let's say I have this query, right? I want to select all the customers who have bought something from us from this date and above. So when I run this query here, I can see that I have quite a number of customers. I have 64 customers who have bought items from us from that day and above. Now, I want to know the names and customer numbers of those people. I want to know the names and customer numbers of those people. So over here, I'm going to write another query which states that select customer name, customer number, comma, customers name from customers. Okay. Now, where the customer's number is in this. So in here, I'm saying that select customer number, customer name from customers, where the customer number can be found in whatever I'll put in here. Now, let's come back here. Here, I have all the customer numbers. You can see that I have all 64 of them. They are customer numbers. So I will copy this SQL statement I wrote here. This SQL statement will give me, let's say hypothetically, just so that we have clarity. Here, if I put 161 here, comma, 334 here, and then I press go, you see that it is going to select the customers 161, 334 and show me their needs. But here's me typing it one by one. I can let the computer do this, whereby instead of me putting it one by one, I'll put an SQL statement here. So I'm saying that select the customer name and that from the customers table, where the customer number is whatever we have selected from the orders table above 2025. That means that I can put another SQL statement in another SQL statement. And when I run this, it will show me that I have this number of people over here. Note that there are some people who bought items twice. For example, over here, just to make sure there are no repeated values, I can go and say it should be distinct. And when I press go, you see that instead of me getting 64, sorry, let me copy this and come here and then paste it over here. And then in here, when I type in distinct, it means that if there's a value that will repeat itself, ignore it. Just use only one value. Instead of me getting 64, like I did the first time, over here I'm getting 44 because there are some people who have come to buy things twice or 3 times. So in here, it is only showing me the names. So even if you bought something twice or 3 times, that is why we are getting 44 here instead of 64, because it's only showing us distinct values. So I can put an SQL statement. As you can see here, this is an SQL statement. I can put an SQL statement in another SQL statement so that one SQL statement will go and look for a set of people for me. Then the other one will go and allocate those people for me. Do we have any questions, please? So in the slide in which I've given you, or I'm about to give you, there are some very interesting queries there that you can try your hands on and gain experience on. When we meet in class next week, we will try our hands on building a database online. That means that we would see how we would build our database, not just in XAMPP, but on an online server. That means that next week, your PCs need to have some form of internet so that we can create the server online and then put our database there. Another reason why we are learning how to put our database online is because with our other class we are having that has to do with mobile application, we are going to start to pivot to writing applications that put their data online, in a database online, so we can retrieve. Our objective for the semester is that we'll build an application that would implement an Internet of Things. That is, for example, if I'm at work and I want the lights in my house to come on, I'll build an app that when I click on it, it will go and trigger the lights in my house so that the lights can come on. That is our end goal for the semester. And for both courses, we'll have them merging together whereby we would write an application that can put information into a database, both a non-relational and a relational database. Here we have a relational database, so we'll use this. And for the non-relational, we'll use Firebase and put our information over there. As always, the recording will be made available to you. As always, again, too, the PPT for the class will be made available to you. Most of the queries I wrote today, a version of them are in the PPT, so you can have them and go over them and treat them as you like. Are there any questions?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, I get an error whenever I start the local host and I go to the admin.
Share your screen and let me see.
So I'm doing the meeting on the mobile phone.
Really.
Okay, so I'm